Hi guys! Annyeong! Good afternoon and welcome to our sixth IG Live Session. Sorry, I forgot to put this in. There you go. Hi everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to our sixth Instagram live session. While waiting for, here we go. There. This is our sixth one, and this is hosted by LPS, which is the Lupon ng Pilipinong Sinematograpo, which is a new guild of Filipino cinematographers. So yes, this event is in. This is an effort to aid and support Lockdown Cinema Club. Wait. There you go. Support Lockdown Cinema Club, which is a fundraiser for the no work, no pay workers in our industry. So sila yung mga PA, utilities, people from the sound department, of course, our own camera, lighting, and grip department. So for more information, I pinned a comment section below where you could donate. You could also go to the LPS Instagram page. We have a link in our bio, and you could also search on Facebook Lockdown Cinema Club. Okay, so this is gonna be like a really casual conversation, so please ask all you want, but also give what you can and donate for Lockdown Cinema Club. So, okay, hi, I'm Cesca. I'm a
Hi, I'm Anne.
cinematographer. Let me introduce to you our other DP. I first met her on the set of Sir Neil Daza. We both operated for the film Fangirl, directed by Antoinette Hadaone. And then I operated the camera for her film Miracle in Cell Number 7, which is an MMFF entry last year, 2019. So please say hi to Anne Monzon.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is this good?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Okay.
Hi,
So, yun.
everybody.
For those coming in,
Hi,
hello.
Marty.
Welcome.
Hi, Marty.
Again, this is a joint effort with Lockdown Cinema Club. This is a fundraiser for our film workers. So, hi, Ives.
Hi, Ives. Hi,
So,
Janko. Special
please donate
mention.
what you can. Yes, ang ganda daw ng soft backlight mo, sabi ni Sir J.A.
Nakakahiya naman, Sir J.A. Kung
Let me
English.
just let me wait
Hi,
lang
direct na.
for a bit more people to join us, and then siguro let's throw in. Hi, Mama Lex. Hello, Arvin. Yan.
Hi, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you do want to donate to Lockdown Cinema Club, there's a link pinned below the comment section that you could check. All right. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Yes.
Faye. Ilang oras kasi
Ilang oras?
nagpapakilaw nyo. Nako, mabilis lang. Sir
Mabilis
Neil.
lang, sir.
What
Walang
life?
effort.
What
Sige,
life?
okay. I guess we
It's
could start.
natural life.
Yes, we have 80 people with us. Sige.
Yeah.
Let's start with Ate Anne. Could you share with everyone how you started to become a cinematographer in this industry?
Hi again, everybody. How did I start? I took a film in UP, Diliman. Um, at the time that I took that, hindi pa siya Film Institute. It was just a course within MassCom, within the College of Mass Communications. And then I think everybody's like that in a way when you take a film, you feel like you want to be a director. So pagdating ko doon, lahat pala that I thought I wanted to do with filmmaking is cinematography, hindi pala directing. Ayoko mag-direct. So,
Okay.
so I learned that early on. Like, I guess first year, parang, kasi I like the camera, I like the lights. Hindi pala yun yung directing. Hindi pala ako mag-director. So
Okay.
that's how I started that. So I'm very lucky that I learned it early on.
Yeah.
Na it's a job that I wanted in the in the industry. So since college, I was very fortunate to have a lot of breaks. Like in college, Kodak was still very active then, and then um, they they got me parang in third year college. They got me to go to a master class ni Vilmo Sigmund and Laszlo Kovacs in Budapest. So this was in 2003. And then when I got there, this was my first time traveling alone outside the country. I was 19 years old. I was so scared. Tapos, pagdating doon, wala, I was the youngest. I was an Asian. I was a girl. There were only 6 girls out of 40 participants. Um,
Okay.
but it was such a very early eye-opening experience for me kasi yung, sobrang lang ako excited. Parang, wow! Yung pinakabata. Tapos first time mo sa set. And then ang galing ng mga kasama mo. So parang ikaw yung, wow! Galing nyo naman! Nakakatuwa. So that was nice. That was such a special experience. And I'm very lucky to have been gotten for that. And then after college, I apprenticed for mga 3 years kay Shane Sarte. I remember this very well because I knew I had to apprentice. I don't know how I knew that, but I knew I had to. And then I wanted somebody. My dad worked in marketing and in advertising a lot, so I knew that I wanted to um, do advertising also, and at the same time to shoot movies, which is something why I got into film in the first place. So I wanted to train with somebody who did both. And then, at that time, so syempre nanonood ako ng mga movies, ganyan. The first movie that I saw, well, not first, but a movie that I saw that I really loved was Got to Believe ni Direk Olive Lamasan, starring Claudine Barreto and
Yes.
Rico Yan. Tapos
Yes.
nakita ko yung cinematography, Shane Sarte. Well, yeah, Sarte. Tapos, okay, parang, wow, ang ganda-ganda naman ito. Parang, ang ganda niya for a local film at the time. So, after that, I got to see Kailangan Kita. And then it was her again. Actually, at that time, I wasn't sure kung babae siya or lalaki. And then
Kasi
for some reason,
Shane.
oo, tapos parang, but sobra ko na siyang na-idol. Parang I had no idea, lalo sa Kailangan Kita, I had no idea that you can shoot local movies like that. It was so beautiful to me. So by the time I graduated, I tried to look for her number. As in, yun, awa ng Diyos, tinanggap naman niya ako mag-apprentice. So I trained with her for 3 years. Ayan, there's a question here. How do you pick and approach people you want to be your mentors? It's really that. It's really more, because there are so many great DOPs.
Yes.
But it's more, it has to be somebody you really, really idolize.
Yes.
Kasi it has happened before that somebody would send me or us,
Yes!
like a couple
Yes!
of cinematographers, like a message on Messenger, ganyan.
It's
or
a message blast.
Oo, na
For
parang,
everyone.
would you like to, can I apprentice with you? Ganyan, ganyan. Tapos parang in a way, but I guess that's me. That's how much importance I give the apprenticeship kasi parang, I don't think you just go up to anybody and just say, can you be my mentor? Kasi it's a training siya. It takes years.
Yes.
Years
Yes.
and years and years and years. And then you're basically learning from this master, from this one person to do your craft. So, it's not a school that you just enroll in. It's not that. Parang it has to be bigger. Feeling ko mas richer yung apprenticeship mo if you have that kind of mentality about it. So I was very lucky that Shane trained me. And that was for 3 years straight. And that was everything from pre-prod to shoot, to post, ocular, meetings, lahat. Kasama niya ako. Tapos, sinasama niya ako. Tapos, the funny thing about that was the whole 3 years that I was training with her, she didn't shoot a film. She had just finished Milan. And then after that, I started training with her. And for 3 years that I was with her, hindi siya nag-shoot ng movie. So never ako nakapag-apprentice on a movie set with her. And then after I graduated, when I ano,
Nilet go ka na niya.
nilet go na ako.
Oh.
Tsaka siya ulit nag-shoot ng movie. So ako parang, hindi ako nakatrain on a movie set. So by the time na I was shooting my movie, parang in a way, because all my training was basically advertising then.
Yes.
Hindi ko, parang on my first movie set, parang anong gagawin ko dito? Kasi nga, I hadn't been. But also, at the same time, that was the time that Cinemalaya started. So,
Okay.
it was batch 1 Cinemalaya. I was the second unit for Big Time for Direct Mario Cornejo. Tapos si IQ main DOP. And it was, the first batch of Cinemalaya kasi is a very special, in that, I don't think anybody knew what they were doing. Unlike now. Kasi nobody knew what they were doing. Parang, ayan pera, shoot kayo movie. And then everybody's like, may pera tayo, gawa tayong movie. So, hindi siya...
Ate Ann, singit lang ako mabilis. We have
Go.
foreign viewers, so if we could
okay.
switch back to English.
Okay, sorry, my speaking.
Go.
Right, there. So, that was the first batch of Cinemalaya. That was a first batch of Cinemalaya Festival. And then, so it was a good experience since everybody didn't know what they were doing and they were all doing it at the same time. And
yes,
it was such a friendly and non-competitive atmosphere that the other movies would go ask the other entries, can I borrow your cinematographer for today? Can I borrow your PD? And then and then at that point, they another film got me to operate for them, and everybody was just sharing their stuff, and it was such a nice, because everybody didn't know how to do this yet. So that was my first film set. That was like a feature film set. So by the time I shot my first one for Star Cinema, I was very nervous because I hadn't been really on a real film set with a big crew, with big actors, with a big terror director pa, si Manong Gilbert Perez. Rest in peace, who's terror, but he was nice to us. So, that was an experience. I guess that's how I started. And then,
okay.
Yeah.
Sige. Quick shout out lang to hello to my batchmates in AFA. They're all listening. Lizzie, hello. And then shout out to Devan from India. So hi, welcome
Devan.
Yes,
I think
again.
You've been joining us for a while.
Yes.
Thank you for always coming.
All right. Again, this is an effort to support Lockdown Cinema Club. This is a fundraiser to help our film workers. So please do donate. Details are at the comment section below, and if not, there is a link in our bio. Okay, first question. Here we go. What are the pros and cons of being a female cinematographer? All right.
Thank you for that wonderful question. What about you, Cesca? You go first.
Ikaw na mauna.
Wait. Do I cancel this? Does it go
away?
Yan.
There.
Pros and cons. I think Miss Lee Briones in her previous session, Q&A with Carlo Mendoza said it best when she said, when you're doing it, forget you're a girl. So in a way, that is both the pro and con of it. There's another step of you forgetting you're a girl, but at the same time, in my experience, I hadn't really come into set and kept on thinking I'm a girl. I can't do this. I'm expected to do. In a way, you're too busy to think of all that. You have other concerns to think
between
about.
setups and lighting
because
and everything.
You're just there to do your job. So, I guess in a way, the pros and cons. Anecdotally, I can say kasi that the Philippines is very much more open to having Filipinos, women cinematographers in the industry. I mean, if you think about it, how many festivals have entries with female DPs? How many awards always have female nominated? Well, in the
Yes.
States and the
Yes.
Oscars, it was their first year with Rachel Morrison a couple of years ago. So um, that that didn't happen to us. So we were having there was an international cinematographer summit a couple of years ago that we got to attend, and one of the panels there was talking about representation in the industry. And when they would ask me how it is here, I'm very well. We all get the same job offers. We all get the
Yeah.
same respect. It's we're
Yes.
not. I don't feel like we're being discriminated against.
Yes.
So I think that's a pro of being a female cinematographer here in the
Here.
Philippines.
Yes.
We're very
Yes.
lucky because I think also we are not the first generation to do this.
Yes.
The like with Miss Marisa Florendo, Miss Lee Briones, and my own mentor Shane Sarte, they're the ones who started this for us. So by the time we got to work, this isn't even a concern anymore. I
Yes.
think. Well, I guess it is mildly to some people. I don't think you can remove that anywhere anyway. But
Yep.
it's much less than I hear in the States or in other countries. So I guess we're lucky being here doing that.
Yeah.
The cons naman, I think,
I have a con eh.
game. What's your con?
I have a con. Sige, let me go to the pros first. There are certain shoots, there are certain film sets that they do require a girl. Because I remember the first few times I was operating for Dan Villegas, we're doing intimate scenes, love scenes, sex scenes. So it's more comfortable for your actresses to have a women camera operator or a women cinematographer who's on set. The con, and maybe this is not like a technical um, problem, but one thing that is always a concern, I think not just only me, is proper bathrooms
Yes.
on set.
I don't if this is beyond like a male female
Beyond
issue, I think
cinematography.
this is really a no, it's basic hygiene.
Yeah.
And I
Especially
don't know
for
why,
us, you know, when you're
especially
in
for
the middle, when you have your
independent films,
period, you're in
I
the
don't
middle of.
I don't know why. And it's not just for the women, it's really for
Yeah,
everybody. I don't know why this isn't a basic priority in
yeah.
productions here. It's hygiene. You should
It's
have
something
like
we
decent
both talk
bathrooms.
about. Yes.
Yes. So, I remember apparently there's a producer who said na I was maarte or in English I was very
Oh.
what's that? What's maarte
What's
in
what?
English?
You're
Um,
maybe you're a bit
no,
too sensitive.
yeah, because it was very important for me to have like
Yes.
can they please provide a decent bathroom for the production.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then it's not me, it's everybody. Why
It's
don't you provide a decent bathroom for everybody? I'm going to return that question
uh-uh.
to the producers. Do you honestly
Yes.
think you're saving money? It's hygiene. Especially
Yes.
now. I don't think you
Yeah.
can discount that anymore. You have to decent bathrooms. Yeah.
Especially when
And
we're out in the, I don't know, rough road or rice fields or something out of town shoots like that.
vein orange. Tama. Salamat. Vein.
And then you were in the middle of your monthly flow and there's just no bathroom. And
And
that's I think one concern that not everyone knows or thinks about. Pero I think it's a really essential concern.
aircon or non-aircon portalet.
As long
As
as
long as it's clean
and with water, hopefully.
and with, parang clean.
As
Ako
long as
din,
it's clean.
portalet.
Yes. Okay, let me go through the next question from Sir Neil Daza.
Trick question
Was
ba?
yun nga eh. Was there an instance that you felt there was discrimination because of your gender?
Oh, he asked me this already before when the first time I had
You met
operated
with
for
him.
him for what was that? Ghost Bride, I think. Uh like I said previously, I think I'm very lucky that I never really felt um
Mm.
uh biased against. I never felt I was in that position. I don't know if I was. I don't know if behind closed doors people were talking about me, but at the very least, I didn't feel it
All
when I
right.
came on set. So, I don't know, maybe there's bias against me now, but I don't feel it. So, does that I guess that counts. I think that's more important, right? That you just
Yes.
carry
Yes.
on, do what you're doing. What about harassment? Follow-up question ni Nor. Parang no. If there was, I'd remember it.
Yes.
Or not anything that is more than I guess the average girl would experience in the workplace.
Yes.
I don't think it's isolated in a film set. Like
Yes.
any girl in an office or any setting is bound to have some level of that. And unfortunately, we're already trained at this point to how to deal with it, to manage with it, to brush it off, or deal with it, basically, which is
Mm.
an unfortunate thing, but you never have to do. But
Yes.
yeah, by the time you get to work, women have been trained to learn how to fight it off,
Ako,
unfortunately.
I shared this story now with Sir Neil. When I was pretty new, I started out as a production manager, line producer. So that's my first route. So when I wanted to apprentice under someone, um, I asked this DP, and one of the comments that came back to me was, um, he's not accepting female apprentices that time.
Because, did he say why?
I didn't ask. I didn't ask. I guess because I was young, I didn't understand what was the dynamics back then. But I didn't ask, and then it just kind of stuck with me. So, yeah. Let me get this question. Okay, I think I want to answer this one. So, Gian, hi. Gian is
Hi,
asking.
Gian. Are you in Singapore?
No, he's here.
Ah,
He's
he's here.
here
Okay.
during the lockdown. So how was it for me to transition from producing to cinematography? I started out as a production manager and then moved up as a line producer. Um, but I already know I wanted to be with the camera, not yet with the lights, but to be with the camera. Um, so I decided to, okay, I'm gonna stop producing. I'm gonna learn cinematography. But that time, like everyone around me was saying, no, why do you have to do cinematography? You're such a good producer. Why not stick there? It's basically because that's what I wanted to do. I didn't graduate film school, so I know no one. I had no connection, so I did the first job that was available for me, which is production assistant to production manager. So yeah, it's a hard transition, especially when I was starting out, that I would go as a PA for cinematography on a certain set, and then I'd see the service drivers, I'd see the grip crew, and they're gonna ask me, "What are you, ma'am? What are you doing here?" And I'm gonna say, I'm working here as a production assistant," and they're gonna ask, "Why?" So it was a hard transition, and you just really, if you love it enough, if you want it enough, you're gonna be willing to go through everything just to be there.
And
Yon.
also, I think it's actually very important to have a PA job before you get into
Yes.
anything. Which is,
Yes.
I did that also. I don't know if I didn't mention it in my history. In my internship in college, kasi I interned with Industria Productions, which is a commercial production house owned by my teacher. Direct Mandy Reyes. So he would get his student. That's where I interned for the summer. But
Mm-mm.
and my job was to get the props, to fix the set. I was still a student then, and then at some point I was the one who was delivering the cans of film negative to the lab, and then sleeping in the office overnight, and then getting it the following morning to take it to telecine
Yes.
transfer. So
Yes.
it's really a runner's job, but you learn so much and meet so many people. The fact that I'm actually still working with Direct Mandy now says
Yes.
something. The fact that my
Yes.
main colorists are the colorists I met at the time when I was still an intern, Miss Marilyn and James Esito. Miss Marilyn Magsaysay and James Esito. I met them while I was still in college, when I was bringing them the negatives, when I was a PA, when I was doing this as a side gig from school. I hope people see the value in
Yes.
the PA job, because I hear like many people just suddenly
Want to
declare
jump.
themselves DOPs or
Yes.
directors
Yes.
without knowing how it works on the ground. I think having a good foundation of in production as a PA will really teach you a lot.
Also, if you're gonna do cinematography and you are gonna start to be like production assistant for that department, you familiarize yourself with lights, with equipment, with camera. When I was starting out, the first intern I did for a film was in a set ni Miss Lee Briones. And I remember I'm gonna ask the gaffer, what is this light? Like I have a tech list and what is this? What is this? I was so clueless. I was asking, why are you putting candy cellophane on the lights? And that is your CTO. So
And then
you,
when they send you out to buy 216, tapos parang, oh, what's a
what's a
216? And then
216,
just
right?
go to MQ,
Yes,
the
yes,
distributor. So you have to
yes,
find where MQ is and then buy
yes,
the 216. So um, you'll never forget what the 216 is,
yes.
because you were
There's
sent out to do it. It's a very, I think it's very, yeah, I can't
the little
stress the value of the
details, the
PA, being
little
a PA.
details we get when we are working as PAs. It's really that. Okay, next question.
Hi to
Sorry.
RJ. You're supposed to be my student at Bacolod workshops. Yes, I think that's still going to
Hello.
happen. So hang tight.
Yes. Okay. Um, let's go back to being an apprentice. When is the right time to be an apprentice? And would it be better if you have production experience?
Yes, I think we just mentioned that. I remember vividly Miss Lee saying that I don't think she accepts apprentices that haven't gone through a PA track first, because
Yes.
being a PA really teaches you so many things about how all of this works, and it more than the technical and more than the procedural things that it teaches you, it's the realization that it's not about you, that
Yes.
all of this involves so many people, and you can't be there and be a brat about things, because it's not about you. It's about so many people and so many factors, and the PA job will let you be there to see all that, but at the same time, your responsibility is limited to a smaller sphere. So you have time to observe, you have time to go around all the departments and really learn from everybody. So the other question is, when is the best time to apprentice? I think anytime, as long as you really want
Yes.
to become a cinematographer, I think that works. But at the same time, I see the value in it's much harder to for me. I right after school, after a month after graduation, I started apprenticing already. So I never really worked and got a salary or got paid anything. I think it is much harder to sacrifice the income you're already getting and then go to apprenticeship, which usually has no pay, which shouldn't pay you anything actually. But there, I think that's the harder route, but at the same time, if you really want to do it, I don't think there's anything that can stop you. Anyway, what's the
Yes.
best gel nail polish for shooting, Sir Neil? I answered that in your Facebook post.
The answer is either you go orally,
Orly.
OPI, or gelish. Until now, mine hasn't like, it's
Hi,
still
Direct
there.
EJ.
Okay,
Lockdown nails.
we are on our 30-minute mark. So again, let me remind everyone.
Please
Um,
donate.
yes, this is an aid to support Lockdown Cinema Club, which is a fundraiser to help our film workers who have no jobs during this pandemic. There is a link pinned down below the comment section. You could go there to donate. For other information, there is a link in our bio, or go to Facebook and search for Lockdown Cinema Club. All right. Next question from Nestor. Hi, Nessie.
Hi,
Do you
Nestor.
consider being a woman cinematographer in the current landscape of our industry as an advantage? Is there an advantage being
Advantage.
woman right now where the current film landscape is?
Um, is there? I guess since I'm very lucky that I never felt biased against, I don't also find a exactly advantage to being a
Mm.
woman on set. Um, I think there are the usual answers some people say or expect, like, oh, you're more empathetic with people, mas emotional, you get the
Mm.
mood and the feeling. But I think it's really a personal thing. Very many male cinematographers, very talented male cinematographers, have the same qualities anyway. I think it's really a person that you're trying to, that it's a person coming into a job. It's not being a woman or a man. It's
Mm.
about how, as a person, you come in being that and who you are and what you contribute. I guess that.
Sige,
Did I
let
answer your
me,
question, Nestor?
let's, I think this is related to the first question. This question
Mm.
is from Kuya Nor. Do you agree that there are some contents or materials that suits a particular gender? Let's say being a
Ikaw,
woman.
what do you think? What about you?
I do have a film where I was approached to be a cinematographer because I was a woman. That time, the producer and the director felt like, because it's a woman's story, it's a discovering of yourself, going through the process of being a woman and finding your true identity. The producer asked me to do it because I was a woman. I think there are, in a certain cases, especially for stories that are really for women, just the same as whenever we ask why queer films are different when it's shot by a straight person than a queer person. It will always go down, I guess, to emotions and how much of that were you able to get from a scene and how much of that you could translate into the screen. So I guess there are, I think, but mostly I would still say no, because as a DP, whether you're male or female, as a DP, you should be able to adjust to what your story needs. The story would always be king, and you have to do that what is best for your film and not because of what gender you're in. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think, was it to ask, Nor? I think it's,
Yes, yes.
I think it's unfair to say that there are stories specifically that women only can make, or the queer only can make, or like men only can make. As I personally believe that as a good cinematographer, whenever a project comes to you, whenever you're given a project, you work according to what that requires. Now, the tendency anyway is to have like, to be locked into a style. I remember I'd worked with an Indian director for commercials. She does a lot of the Dove and the J&J ads around the world. So she travels to do that. So when she went to the Philippines to do that, she said that that wasn't how she started out. That those weren't the projects that she started out doing. But then since she did one, and then it became so popular, and then she was offered
It,
another one to do the same. So it's not as if she actively chose, or she actively chose to do just that. It's just that since it's what people find to be your best work, and
yeah,
that's
she
the
did
people's
best.
opinion, and that's it's a chicken and egg situation, then that's the project that you keep on getting. But I still think that whatever the story requires, you should, as a good DP, you should be able to do it.
Yes.
Personally, I try to practice as much range as I can.
Yes.
I know that that I've been kind of luck, not luck, but thrown towards beauty and
Yeah.
beautiful people, rich, mabango, ganyan. That kind of look and style. But at the
Yes.
same time, knowing that, being very active, I like doing that anyway also. And I think I know that I know how to do that. But at the same time, just so it doesn't get boring for me, I try to do something
Yes.
really I've never done before, like a horror film. And I never watched horror films. So when I got the offer to do one, I did it because I hadn't done one before. So it's more that it's an active choice to branch out, to practice a range instead of being locked in.
Another follow-up question into that. What are your thoughts on male gaze?
Are we going there? Okay. Sige. um, so male gaze, I learned it in film school, which is a
Okay.
very not film school is a strange thing because it teaches you theory, it teaches you all these things about art or how to make it, how to read it, and so when I first heard of male gaze, I hadn't heard about it before. Medyo eye-opener siya sa akin. And then I realized that um, so since society really just teaches you the male gaze, whether you're a woman or not, you were born with a male gaze. I think that's what I remember from what I read, and that's
Mm.
kind of what I assumed. So coming into work as a female DP, as a person holding the camera on set, um, I knew consciously that I had a male gaze. I knew that this is what would sell, that this is what people would like to see. Um, but there's a very distinct project that I will not forget. Anyway, it's a hip hop video. I was camera operating, and there was a girl cage dancer up on the ledge, and then I was supposed to shoot close-ups of all the dancers, and then I remember vividly the director telling me, zoom in mo pa, lapit mo pa, just get in tighter, shoot the boobs, shoot the ass, ganyan. Um, uh, and then I knew I had to do it, and I thought I was shooting it well enough already. But at the same time, I also felt uncomfortable for the girl who was there. So, but also you don't let it get to you. You don't let it affect your work. This was how I was thinking at the time. So, and I knew consciously nga that it it's a society thing that you're born with it. Now, I think as you grow and as you work on your own, and then you'll find that as a person, you'll have a different point of view, and that's where the female gaze comes in. It's a very we can talk about this for an
This is
entire
a
day.
long
Such a difficult
conversation.
topic since it's a
Yes.
theoretical. It's a society issue more than a John
Yes.
issue. So I guess we do our best.
See, yes,
Why
we
male
try.
gaze?
Stories always, we go always go back to what the story needs. That's basically it.
And it's also about how effective things are for the people who are watching it. It can be, you have to talk to in a language that they would understand. So,
Yes, accessible to your
um,
audience.
yes. So parang, even if you try, we're raised on it. It's all the movies that we've seen. It's all the art that we've seen. It's very difficult to just remove it. So I think it's going to be fake to say that we don't have it. I think we do.
We do. I think
We
also
do.
still do. But then again, if the story needs it, if it is the device that would tell the story properly or clearly, I guess we go to it. But if it is not needed, if it's just for gag, if it's just for a comedy relief, then I try to avoid it. This is a long conversation. Let's move
Yes.
forward. This is a
Oo.
whole new different session.
Yeah, male gaze is, let's have coffee after all of this is over.
Or message us personally so we could talk to you.
That is hard. It's a
Okay.
difficult question.
There's a question from Directonet for me. How is it working as a DP for a foreign production outside the Philippines, and how has it influenced me? So for everybody who doesn't know, 2018, I think I did a Taiwanese Filipino co-production where majority of the team is from Taiwan. We shot the whole 90% of the film in Taiwan. And then the only Filipinos were me, my director, our sound guy, which is Drew, um, and then our PD. But all the other people, I brought my gaffer with me. But then all the lights and grips and cameras, ACs, even our AD came from Taiwan. They have a different sensibilities with them. Mainly because one, they're not shooting per sequence, they're shooting per page length. So, like 3 pages would sometimes mean just 2 or 3 sequences, and that's how they do it. Um, but one thing that I really, really enjoyed is the technology. And I wish we would apply here in Manila. One thing is everything was wireless. I had no problems with cables or anything. Focus is wireless. Sometimes when I need to move the iris is also in wireless. My AC has their own small monitor where you connect the wireless focus pull. My director has his own wireless monitor, and then I have my own. And no cables involved. So I really, really enjoyed that technology. I wanted, or at least try to apply it here, but it costs more. So not every production are willing to embrace that type of technology that they have, but it does make things efficient. Like you do not have to wait to set up the director's monitor or the floor monitor. You could quickly see your frames. And then basically the discipline. Like when we are shooting, when we are on set, you could not see anyone holding their phones. No phones on set. No checking of text messages. No checking of your social media profiles. And that is one discipline I really, really want to apply on my own sets. But then, when you're in the middle of it, everybody is doing a quick setup, everyone is on a rush, and then you see one crew sitting there playing on their cell phones. It does push a button in you, because how are we gonna do this efficiently if not everyone is focused on this thing? Yes, Ate Ann, I know you
Yes,
have
I agree.
something to say.
No,
Yes,
I
go.
agree. I agree completely. I think as a DP, you have to remember that it's also a management thing more than
Yes, yes,
apart from a creative and a technical job. So
yes,
you're actually managing the largest manpower on set. So
yes,
it's very important to have that awareness and that skill when you come on set. And if it involves putting discipline on your ranks, like it's not as if you're taking their phones away. It's just don't play games on the set. Don't, it's yeah, and that's how you manage your set. It's how so over time I think you can realize how much better things will move. What works best for you and your team, or the when that happens.
There's a follow-up question regarding that, Ate Anne. Are there certain struggles you had or have you encountered dealing with or finding, let's say, your gaffer, your ACs, or managing your whole camera and technical department? As a woman, is there a certain thing or struggle?
Maybe, but I don't. As a woman, again, I don't feel it necessarily because I'm a woman. It's really just the job and the designation. Like I hear our male DP friends have the same problems with their gaffers or ACs or whoever staff that they have. Um, and it's not about being a woman. It's really about being a DP and that job. So I think I'm very lucky to have like my AC. I've had Michael Viray from back when I started. He was my second AC on my first feature. So after that, I got an offer to do an independent film, and it was with the DVX, the 24p, the Panasonic DVX 100A that had the film lens adapter. So the focus there is very, very um, malalim. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's not a very difficult focus job. And at the same time, my second AC, he was from Star. He was already being trained to be an AC at some point. So I told him to, do you want to have an AC job? So
Job.
I'm shooting this indie film. It's not hard because of that the film adapter. So I brought him on. So I still my AC now. And then my gaffer, I think I actually like the idea of getting someone from the crew if you find a promising crew member who has a good attitude more than anything, because the technicals you can teach that, but or you can learn that along the way, but to have a good attitude, because I've encountered a few that do not have that. It's better to have that proper attitude on set. So I brought him up from a grip position to gaff for me, and he's been my gaffer for quite a number of years now.
Again, it's not really about your gender, it's how well you can manage your team. And it's really part of the job. More than the creative side, a big chunk of it is managing your people. Okay, we're down to our last 10
That
minutes
was fast.
already. But if you're willing to extend, we have more questions that haven't been answered yet. So if you want to come back, could we do an extension at the end?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Sige, on the 10-minute mark, again, let me remind everyone to please donate for Lockdown Cinema Club. For those who just tuned in, this is a fundraiser event for our film workers who have no work during this pandemic. There are details pinned down below the comment section. You could also check our bio, or you could go to Facebook and check Lockdown Cinema Club. Okay.
Hi,
From
Neil. Hi, Ives.
From Sir Neil. Daming entry ni Sir Neil.
Oo nga.
From Sir Neil, what's your favorite thing about being a DP?
I think what I like about it really is what got me into it in the first place. Um, because it's both a science and an art, and it is not easy either way.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so I I don't I don't want to be bored at my job. I knew from the beginning that I didn't want an office job, and I didn't want to come do a regular thing
Yes.
every day, all day. So cinematography is never the same thing twice.
Yes.
Even if you're shooting a film, day one is different from day two. It's a different
Yes.
location, it's different weather conditions, it's different actors, it's different moods on set.
Yes.
It is never, you will never be
Oo.
bored. And at
Yes.
the same time, there is so much work that you need to do, so it
Yes.
doesn't bore me. Also, you have to constantly learn the science and the art, and you never stop, and you never stop. You can't stop. So I think that's what I like about it, because it's a challenge. I'll never get bored. And I feel like I'll never be good at it enough. But you just have to keep on doing it. I like doing
Yes.
it enough to just keep on doing it and doing it and
Yes.
doing it. So, yeah, I think that's a fun job, right? Because it's like
Yes.
that.
Um, I guess my favorite thing about being a DP, um, when I the first time I learned like I wanna do films is when we were watching ang pagdadalaga ni Maximo Oliveros. And my film professor, hi Sir Rondina, is teaching us about mise en scène and the meaning of things, the non-verbal things that you have to understand in a frame with colors, with blocking, with locations, and everything like that. So in my head, it became like a mind game, and I wanted to do that. So with all the directors I've worked with, we do try to have a visual language. And we are always excited at the end, whether they're regular viewers or critics or other filmmakers who would understand that little game we hid there. I think that is one of the most um, exciting parts for me. Like every film I made, there is something that we just put there, and
There's
then
a special thing that people don't have to see, but you know, and the staff knows, your director knows. It's a, yeah, but like you insert a secret, like an Easter egg inside the
yes,
film.
yes,
And that makes
yes.
you happy, even if nobody likes it, even if nobody sees it, diba?
But
I think that's a special.
it's an extra when you see a review that mention it, or when you go through Twitter and oh my god, they got it. And it's a giddy happy feeling.
I'm going to answer Maki's question, the
Yes.
favorite sandbag, because she
Yes, your
always
favorite
asks it. My
sandbag.
favorite sandbag is the one that comes with a micro grip, the one that's this big. Ayan, I answered. It's very
The
cute.
one with what?
The micro grip. It's a sandbag this big. So that's my favorite sandbag.
Sandbag. Sige, wait, let me just... Okay, from King Palisok.
Hi, Direct King.
What are the challenges of shifting from ads to films and vice
Mm.
versa? I think you could
Uh,
answer this best.
I think for me, I guess the easiest comparison would be an ad is a sprint and a film is a marathon. A feature film is an endurance test. It's really every day for the next 30, 60 day, whatever days, number of days, you have to keep on coming. You have to always be the best every day, whatever the project throws at you. And you have to be able to sustain that for a very, very, very long time. And it demands so much from you, from your energy, because it's long. But at the same time, an ad, TVC, um, you only have one shot. It's a sprint. So you only have one shot to do it. You have to be the best on that one day that you shoot this TVC, 1 or 2 days. You have to be the best at it. There is no room for mistakes. There is no room for um, thinking about it on set. You have to be there and know already what you're doing. So I like both because it demands different things from you
Yes,
as a DP.
yes,
That's why I try to really jump from one to the other. It keeps you on your toes, I think. And the level of meticulousness in a TVC is something that amazes me, especially I do a lot of food commercials. So like the food stylists and the PDs and the way you craft each shot and each frame and the food, the props men that make all these beautiful images out of food. It's such a, and you have to get it right technically every instant because everybody's there focused on that, creating this beautiful thing that can be half a second long, but it's there. It's very hard to do. And you have
Yes.
to be able to do it. While in a movie, while the level of some people also still have that kind of um, meticulousness about it, but it's in a larger scale. And you have to think of a bigger canvas. It's a bigger thing. It's a bigger scope that you have to be aware of. So it demands a different thing from you. So I think that's the main. So I really, whenever I start, so normally I shoot commercials. So when I get a film project, I really have to stop and decide and
And
think. I am
focus.
focused that this is a feature film that I'm doing today. Um, I have to get into that mind space because yeah, it's a different demand. It's a
I guess one thing as DPs we always think of is what are we selling here? If it's commercials, you're selling a product, you're selling an idea, you're selling, um, let's say, a celebrity. But when you're doing film, you're selling this story, you're selling this nuance, you're selling, um, again, if it's a business, you're selling your actresses or actors. So you have to identify who or what are you selling so you'd know what skill set you need for either or.
or what
And
you're
it's
trying to say. Actually, it's not even just the sell. Like even like even commercials. Sometimes a lot of them actually still want to tell a story. So it's still about
narratives one.
right.
Yeah.
So kahit or even not the narrative ones. Like even if this food tastes very good. So how do you show that? How do you tell that story? How do you show that
What's the
in 30
intention?
seconds? Yeah. So I
Yes.
think
What's the goal?
that's where it becomes the same because you're
Yes.
still trying to say something.
Yes.
So that's how it's how a commercial and a film is the same in that you come there and you have to know what you want to say and be able to know how to do that to say that what you want to say. Tama
All
ba?
right, we were down to our last two
Last three,
minutes.
two.
But let me cut this na and then start another one. For everyone who's joining us, we're just doing a quick commercial break. But we will go live again just right after this.
Please
But a
join us still.
reminder,
Come back.
yes, come back with us. And again, this is for Lockdown Cinema Club. It's a fundraiser for our film workers. Also, at 3 p.m. today, Lockdown Cinema Club will be having a screening of the film The Animals, directed by Gino Santos. It's on Vimeo On Demand. So you could check the Lockdown Cinema Club Facebook for more details. Let me end this one and start another one real quick. Stay with us, don't go anywhere, and bye
Bye.
bye.
See you in a minute.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. To those who are with us again, thank you for staying with us. Thank you for being here. And for those who just tuned in, again, this is hosted by Lupon ng Pilipinong Sinematograpo, which is a cinematographers, and this is an effort to aid Lockdown Cinema Club, which is a fundraiser for our displaced film workers now that there is no shooting during the pandemic. Still with us is Anne Monzon. Yes.
Hi.
So everyone
You're
who's
so good
back,
at hosting, Cesca.
thank you. I used to do it as a side job when I was in college. I'd like host
Good
events
job.
and weddings and everything else. To the 60 people that are back, thank you so much for coming. We are down to our last three questions. So
Oh,
let me filter
okay. Continue.
this properly. Okay. Considering weight of equipment, long hours, etc., do you prefer hiring Ronin or Steadicam
Mm-hmm.
operators, or do you prefer doing it by yourself? And then follow-up question is, do you think it's essential to work out for DPs?
Last question first, yes.
Yes,
I
yes.
think it's for anybody anyway, but especially for DPs, it's a very other than being a scientific and an artistic job, it's a
Yes.
very physical job
Physical work. Yes.
also. So you have I think you just have to be the best. So that includes being healthy, being able to do the job physically, even not necessarily having to operate like handheld or steadicam or movie, whatever. But really just to be healthy enough to sustain good work for an extended amount of time, extended amount of hours. So
Yes.
the demands on health is actually very high. So you have to work out. It's non-negotiable. Um, at the same time, what's the other question? Parang how do you choose whether
Yes,
you're going to operate yourself?
considering the weight of different equipments, let's say Steadicam or Ronin, would you prefer to operate it yourself or do you want to get
An
operator
operator.
for you?
I think Steadicam operating and gimbal operating, they're very specialized jobs.
Skills,
And
yes.
as much as I love to operate, it's one of my favorite things in the world. I also know what my limits are.
Are.
And it's not because I'm a girl, because there are female Steadicam operators, at least
Yes.
in the States, not yet
Yes.
in this country. If anybody wants to be a Steadicam operator, please feel free to do that. And then we'll we'd really appreciate like a female Steadicam operator. And I've thought about trying that out also, but I never pursued it. But yes, there are people made for certain jobs, so I'm not going to take that away. Like J.R. Misa, who is one of the best Steadicam operators in this country, we worked with him in Miracle.
Hi,
Remember? Hi, are you
JR.
here, J.R.?
Yes, I saw
Um,
his name.
you you hire JR to do the job because he can do it better than either you or I can do it, right?
Yes.
So it's not because we're girls and it's not because he's a guy. It's because he's a trained Steadicam operator and that's what the job needs. So, does that answer the question? I
I
think it's
think,
skills. It's really skills.
yes.
You get the person who could
Yes.
do the job.
But also because, hi, Deva! Again, my classmates
Sonia
from
Sarte, that's
AFA.
Shane. Hi! That's
Hi,
Shane
Miss
using.
Shane!
That's my mentor, Shane, who just joined us.
To my AFA classmates, thank you so much for watching this with us. To add to that, I think, well, part of us, DPs, when we do our technical requirements, when we do our commercial, when we choose our cameras or lenses, part of it is ergonomics. So if
Matty said that in his session. That was really great.
yeah, if we're doing handheld but with a good sensor, then I choose a certain camera. If we're doing a lot of, so basically it's what you need. It doesn't really just fall on how heavy or how light it is. Basically, what is the best camera to work with based on your requirements, whether it's all handheld, all dolly, all on sticks. It really depends on that. Anything else, Ate Anne?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Do you have any more questions? Super,
Yes,
kaya I
we
don't like
have.
the dance.
Okay. From Dan Villegas. Hi, Direk. Lens, camera, or lights? Which is your first priority on your technical requirements?
I think it changes per project. Um,
Mm.
because you get a script and then you know that there's a budget. And I think I need to put this out there because it's always a question that I see being asked, but no one has asked it yet. Like, how do you deal with low budget projects, about having to negotiate your requirements? There was something that I read. I want everybody to know this. There was something that I read in American Cinematographer the time Avengers came out. And they
Okay.
said, the DP there said that their problem with shooting Avengers 1 was they didn't have enough budget. Avengers 1 yon, guys. So parang, if they don't have budget, then nobody has budget. So I think the
Exactly.
realization I took
Yes.
from that was, there will never be enough budget. So, never. You will always have to work with fewer resources than your dream,
Yes.
than your ideal. So given that, to answer Dan's question, I think when we get the script, at least for me, when you read it, you know what is, me personally, I kind of feel like what is not negotiable and what I can work with. Like, if it feels like it's going to be a lot of natural, very sparsely lit or natural, if it's that kind of mood, then I think lights will be the ones that I can adjust on. But then you'd have to get like a camera with a good sensor and a good set of lenses,
Lenses,
right?
yes.
Or at the same time, there are projects that that require a certain look that you need to light for, and it's a choice between having more lights or getting a more expensive lens set. So if there's a look that you need to do, and if you have a good relationship with your colorist anyway, and you think that you can get that kind of look in post, in color grading, without having to spend the extra money on glass, on lenses, then I guess you can adjust, like get a cheaper set of lenses and go with the lights that you think is more necessary for the project. So it really depends on the project, I think.
Yes.
It also the camera, right? So
Yes.
one of the first questions I ask actually is where, like for ads especially, is this for cinema airing? Is this just for online? Is this for, because the higher resolution cameras, you don't actually need the 8K of a camera when you really just shoot broadcasting on HD on Facebook. So get a cheaper camera and then you can have more lights and you can have a better lens set. So you just weigh all three, I think.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
I think a concrete example is the last film I did. It was mainly exterior nights. And one thing that my line producer told me is we don't have generators. So
Yes.
if that was the case, I had to choose a camera with a good sensor and a set of lens um, that has a wider iris, and then I had to choose lights that would be battery operated. So because that was what the project was demanding, and then the film before that, um, it was an all handheld shoot. So my priority was more of the camera and how efficient I would be able to operate it. So yes, again, it depends on the project you're doing. It depends on how much budget your production has.
There's
It
also, yeah, you have to weigh, because we have so many options now. We're so lucky we have so many options
yes,
now.
yes,
I am very lucky to have still worked on film. And I remember that time that we were given these number of rolls as of 500, and that's all you get. So whether you're shooting a difficult night scene or like you have to light an entire street, it's there's more leeway now in digital technology uh, to be able to weigh all that. Like when we were shooting a film in Japan with a minimal crew, and then I knew I wasn't going to have any lights, so I just brought like 6 1 by 1 LED panels that we could tape to the walls. But I chose a camera that would shoot ARRI RAW because I know before we left, because we tested, and that's the importance of testing, kids.
yes.
Before we left, we shot some footage, and then we sent it to the colorist, who is your really the best friend of your life as a DP, other than your gaffer and your AC and your set staff. The colorist is your other best friend. You know how much you can work with or not work with based on the things that you have. So once you're on set, I guess the idea is really just to be prepared with any given situation that will be thrown at you, and it will be thrown at you. So you have to be ready for that. So test everything. So because you did the test for that, I knew going to Japan with minimal crew and no lights that this is the limit that the Ariro sensor can take. So when we got back here, I did have to bring lights. I knew that I didn't have to bring all those big lights. I did have to spend for that. So it's really educating yourself about all the things that are available to you and then weighing what you can need. Yes, Ori, best friend of your life. Ori is one of the best colorists in this country. Thank you for joining us, Ori. And she was also my classmate in cinematography class in college, I
Ang
think.
ganda!
Yes, she was.
Okay.
Hi,
Last
everybody. To
question.
donate to Lockdown Cinema Club on
Yay.
Facebook. Click the link of Filipino Cinematographers. We're going to help out so many people. We're already almost, we're very near our 3 million peso target. We've
Yes.
already helped so many people.
Yes.
So, and the amount doesn't really matter. Just a little would go a long, long way. See how many people we've already helped at this point. We can still help more.
All right. Last question. A director you'd want to work with or your dream project? Is there a director you really want to work with, or what is your dream project?
I don't know about the first question. Is that like Stanley Kubrick? Ganun ba yun?
Oh, why
Is
not?
that ano?
Why
Diba?
not?
I don't want to work with Stanley Kubrick, by the
Why
way.
not?
um,
Foreign or local?
I don't
Any
know
director
about
you
the
still want to
director.
work with?
I think Joe Wright, no, would be a great director to work with. I
Ah.
love his films, and I love how they look. That would be a great dream foreign director to work with. Locally, I'm really just honored whenever I get a call from anybody, right? Because there's so many DPs around, and for
Yes.
them, they ask
Yes.
for you, eh. So that
Yes.
alone is already, I'm already very thankful for that. Now, as for a project,
Your dream
I think
film.
my dream film, right? We talked about this
Your dream
before.
film.
The historical, but the period film, but not historical.
Yes.
Something along the lines of um, I don't know if like the younger viewers would know what Legend of the Fall is. It's set in a it's a very it's not about historical people. It's not about like heroes and the historical event, but a period setting of a. I think that would be nice to do. What about you? What's your dream project? I don't remember.
I wanted to do something like What Dreams May Come because it's
That's
one of my
nice.
favorite films. And
It's
more
very
than
nice.
the technical side, it's how much of that story affected me. And I want to do a film that could affect a certain person the same way that after you watch it, you bring it with you, you think about it, you still analyze it afterwards, and I think those are the films that are the most special ones when you were able to have an effect to your audience and they could bring a certain emotion back when they go home. For my directors, I love working with Filipino directors. It's different when you're working with I had done a commercial work with a foreign DP, but working with the local ones is still more special because of the same sensibilities you have. And even if we're coming off from different regions, the regional filmmakers and the Manila centric filmmakers, you still have different sensibilities, but within the context of the Philippines. So already there are a lot of ideas, there are a lot of stories to explore before you go out for international directors. But still, I want to work with the Coen brothers if given the chance.
Philippine directors.
Yes.
Do I answer Nor's question? Are we done?
Sure, sure.
Or
Why not? Why not? Let's answer. Last question
that's
from Nor.
that's the last. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Um, since getting married, has your work ever got to be an issue? Peter is my husband. Okay.
Hi, Kuya
He's in
Peter.
the other room, so he cannot hear us. No, I think no. And we wouldn't have gotten married if that
If
was
he
an
had an
issue
issue.
in the
Yes.
beginning, right? So I think that's a major takeaway. You don't marry him
Yes.
first and then realize that it's going to be an issue, right? The good thing about that this person that I married, I was already a practicing cinematographer for a number of years by the time I had met him. So I wasn't going to change. This wasn't going to change. This wasn't going to go away. So he had to deal with it. And he knows that. I think that's the difference, I suppose, as compared to somebody that you met earlier on, when you weren't doing this much work or this kind of work yet. So because he had met me already and I was already doing this, I don't think it was a problem. He knew what he was getting into, right?
Yes.
So it's more his problem than mine. Thank you for that wonderful question.
I think on a women's perspective, there are gonna be some challenges that are different for male ones. Like what Miss Lee mentioned, you have to pump milk in the middle
Yes.
of sequences. You just gave birth, but you have to go on set, or you are pregnant 7, 8 months in, but you still can shoot and want to shoot. There
And
are
you're medically
challenges.
allowed.
And you're medically allowed. But then again, part of it is your willingness to go to do this. It's because you love what you're doing and you want this. So you will go through it. And I guess a partner who would understand the working hours, the physical demands from your work, who would understand, okay, maybe I won't see you for a whole month, but after that, maybe I won't have a project, so we'd see more of each other. This work is very unpredictable. It changes, your schedule changes every day, if not every other day. And I guess finding a partner who would really understand that, and someone like Kuya Peter. Someone
He
like
should be
Kuya
hearing
Peter.
this. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what. After.
Yun. There. So we end this live session here
Oh,
today.
we're done.
For everyone who stuck with us, thank you so much for
Oh, nauna
going.
Dan eh. Nauna yung cinematography eh. Sa
Oo
jowa.
eh. So, there again, this is hosted by LPS Lupon ng Pilipinong Sinematograpo. We are a new guild of Filipino cinematographers. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram. This IG live session is an effort to aid Lockdown Cinema Club. So, yes, Maki.
And to the people who are following us, feel free to just, or following us now, feel free to just message us anyway. I
Yes.
think our Instagram accounts are public. Ours
Yes.
and like the rest of the cinematographers of
Yes.
LPS. Feel free to get in touch with us. We're very nice people. We're
We
very
reply.
open.
We reply.
We try as much as we can.
Yes.
Don't be an ass. But yeah, we reply.
Yeah, because I saw some questions. If you want to know how my experience was with AFA, shooting in Busan, shooting in Kyoto and Taipei, just message me for any not so personal questions. You could drop it. At the end, your Instagram handle is at Monzon. Yes, my Instagram is _Cesca. But if you could go through the LPS Instagram account, you could find all the DPs there. You could follow us, ask us questions, and talk to us through our personal accounts. Yes, and still, again, this is for Lockdown Cinema. This is a fundraiser event for our film workers who were displaced because we cannot work during this pandemic. You could find more details at our bio. There is a link there. Or you could go to Facebook and search for Lockdown Cinema Club. The LCC has a 3 p.m. Starting at 3 p.m., they are doing a Vimeo on-demand screening of The Animals.
It goes for 24 hours, right?
Yes.
So starting at 3 p.m., it's released
Starting
at 3 p.m.
You could
have
watch
24
it.
hours to watch that.
Yes, it is by Gino Santos. Again, donate whatever you can. Even the small amount could really, really help our film workers. So please do donate. Yes, if you have any more questions, at the end, last words.
Last words? Thank you for coming. That's very nice of you. Thank you to all our DP friends from LPS who
Yes.
supported us today. You're really the best people I
Yes.
know.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Take
Again,
care,
if you have
everybody.
questions,
Feel
feel
free to
free.
send us a message on Instagram.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining. Again, Lockdown Cinema Club. Check them on Facebook. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.